Hey, I hope you enjoy this brief documentary on Eastern State Penitentiary located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you get a chance, check out their haunted house they have this year starting in September through November 3rd from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's real haunted fun. You never know who you might run into while you're there.
This etching from 1855 shows the original 7-cell block design envisioned by the architect John Havlin. This design was completed in 1836, 7 years after the prison was opened, and 14 years after construction began. Eastern State Penitentiary was designed to reshape the mind of an inmate, rather than punish the body of one. It was believed that by keeping prisoners isolated in chapel-like cells, the inner light of their souls would emerge. In reality, the isolation was nearly impossible to maintain, and the lofty goals of the founders crumbled in the 20th century, much like the building itself. Eastern State Penitentiary still stands today in ruins after closing its doors in 1971. Visitors can take an audio tour learning secrets and historical facts locked within the prison walls. Eastern State Penitentiary Cell Block 3 was converted into a hospital ward in the 1880s to address the growing needs of the crowded prison. Over the years, it became a very modern facility equipped with an x-ray room, operating room, and specially designed cells to promote health in inmates stricken with tuberculosis. Completed in 1836, Cell Block 7 was the largest and grandest of all cell blocks in the Eastern State Penitentiary. Confronted with the problem of overcrowding due to limited cells, architect John Havlin was forced to compromise his design of single-story cell blocks, resulting in the 2-tiered cell blocks of 4 through 7. With the completion of Cell Block 7, the original construction was finished, and no new cell blocks would be added to the prison until 1877. In the 1830s, some women were housed in Cell Block 7 to allow easy access to the laundry facility, which had been built on the first floor of the cell block. In later years, the converted exercise yards containing a tin shop, hobby shop, rug weaving shop, machine shop, and a synagogue. In 1929, the administration of Eastern State Penitentiary created a 30-minute-long silent film to honor the 100th anniversary of the institution. With the opening of Graterford Penitentiary that same year, there was talk throughout the state that Eastern State Penitentiary would be closed. This black and white film was created to showcase the value of the prison and prove that it was still a viable institution for reform. The film focuses on productive work of the inmates, highlighting the various workshops and industries powered by inmate labor. Hidden behind a fake wall panel was the entrance to the escape tunnel that was used by Clarence Kleindienst and 11 others, including the infamous bank robber Willie Sutton. The tunnel extended 15 feet down, then 97 feet outward, before turning up and exiting onto the prison's front terrace. It was supported by stolen wood and a string of electrical lights, ran the length of the tunnel. Overcrowding during the 20th century required that all available cells house inmates, so the prison officials looked downward for the new punishment cells. When cell block 14 was completed in 1927, 4 underground punishment cells, known as the Klondike, were built into its foundation. These windowless cells were nothing more than concrete tombs below the ground that inmates would sometimes spend weeks in. Eventually, inspectors from the state barred prison officials from using these cells. According to several newspapers of the day, Al Capone's cell was the lap of luxury, containing carpets, lamps, and a radio that he used to listen to the waltz. In the late 1930s, many years after Capone was released, several former guards from Eastern State Penitentiary visited Capone in Chicago and were treated to a good time by the famous mobster. Capone was housed in the area of cell block 8, known as Park Avenue. His cell was recreated in 2002. In 1965, Eastern State Penitentiary, while still an active prison, was declared a National Historic Landmark. After over 20 years of abandonment, the deterioration of the prison was so severe that it was declared to be a semi-ruin. Eastern State Penitentiary was named to the National Park Service's list of endangered landmarks by Congress, and in 1996 and 2000, it was added to the list of 100 most endangered sites list by the World Monuments List. Due to progress and stabilization, Eastern State Penitentiary was removed from the World Monuments List in 2002. Today, the goal of Eastern State Penitentiary Historic Site is not to restore the site, but to preserve it as a stabilized ruin. Restoration would be cost prohibitive, but most importantly, the decay of the building has been well received by the public. Selected areas have been restored in order to better interpret the history of the institution. In 1991, even before the start of the Historic Tour program, the Eastern State Penitentiary Task Force, the City of Philadelphia, and neighborhood restaurants held a one-night Halloween party inside the prison as a fundraiser. Building on the success of the event, a Halloween fundraiser was held in the prison each fall. In 1995, the event was branded as Terror Behind the Walls, transformed the real prison into a massive haunted house. Today, Terror Behind the Walls is one of the largest haunted houses in the world and is the single biggest source of revenue for the historic site. The event runs from mid-September through Halloween. Although many visitors report strange happenings within the walls of Eastern State Penitentiary, the question still remains a mystery today. Is Eastern State Penitentiary haunted? Perhaps those poor souls that perished here still walks amongst the ruins serving a life after death sentence.